Что, идет что-нибудь, нет? Трова идет уже минуту. На ютубе тоже идет, вроде бы. А что-то БС ломается. Так, попробуем не на полный экран, а в окне. Стоит делать на полный экран, сломается. Так, идем, да? Что сначала придется играть в окне. Что-то не очень удобно. Как люди пишут на телефоне, а? 15 минут на одно слово. Что, вроде не запустить сначала, да? Ну, будем догадываться, что конкретно нам показали. Должно же быть где-то сначала начать. Загрузка. Выход из чего? Да, хочу выйти. И что, все? Он совсем вышел теперь, да? А идет стрим, нет? Идет, да? Все, запускаем новую игру. Так попробуй
Paris, city of love, romance and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too, but ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
Я там была. При мне никого там ни разу не убили, так что не надо мне. Город убийств. Я тоже тут, наконец-то. С 5-го раза. Меня хорошо слышно относительно игры? Или погромче мне сделать?
I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away.
Очень странно.
Here I was, the palace of the media king and the ice
Еще
cream.
клоуны, да, вот эти вот.
I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Лезет, лезет.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty. You're too kind, madame.
The talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat.
God, what? Monsieur Carchon!
Так и знала, что он убьет. Так и знала. Я же девочка! Подлец.
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Да. Вот гад. Так, секунду. Нет, второго идет, все идет. Интерактивные объекты. Так, это мы знаем. Мы уже профессионалы. Так, у меня в маленьком окошке теперь ничего не видно. Ближе подвину. Или тело сначала посмотрим. Не очень хочу смотреть. Придется.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him. It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down. I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow. I had closed his eyes. Rigor mortis hadn't set in yet.
Ну, как бы очевидно.
Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
Shit.
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
Ну, когда нас это останавливало?
Carchon had been shot.
Ну, очевидно. Все. Мы это все трогали уже, да? Так. Так.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It was a boat ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. When I was a little girl, Papa used to take me on the Bateau Mouche as a treat.
Хорошо. Так, лук это на тело, да?
A bust of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France. A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job. This was the work of the mime. Unless the cat was in on it too.
Бедная кошка. Приписали кошку. Ничего не открываете, что ли? Открывайте.
The
Так.
killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone.
Догоняй!
Guess he folded that
Прыгай!
ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him.
Чё ты не прыгаешь? Ловить его будем, нет? Ленивая, еще журналистка.
The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions. It contained rows of titles I didn't recognize. Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
Что, мы все посмотрели?
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them. The door was locked. A Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy. A beautiful cloth had been draped over the table. It was embroidered with an unusual cross. I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful. Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole. Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
Она мне нравится, сама задает вопросы, сама отвечает. Угу. Я сама сегодня ненадолго. Что, все?
The cloth was embroidered with an unusual symbol. A key. Maybe a safe key. Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that. It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Так, будем приставать к вдове, да? Доведем женщину до слез, как обычно.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
Нифига себе вопросы.
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not
Что
so.
такое?
We shall see. Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way.
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Что стоит такое? Да,
Yes,
у меня есть moral
that's why I
sense.
do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if my editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I
Не
were...
мудрено,
He was
что
all I
бывает,
had,
так
really.
все разбежались от тебя.
Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Просто потому что так интереснее. Так,
Your
хорошо.
husband invited me here today because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already, I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
Такая
All
журналистка
I need
же.
is a few more minutes to look around before the
Журналисты должны
police come.
задавать вопросы.
You really
и
do have a
отвечать.
moral sense, don't you? I trust
Какие у
so
меня
few
планы на
people.
сегодня?
And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him
Сидеть в
seducing you
четырех
too.
стенах, как
Here,
обычно.
take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
А что ты боялся там найти?
Thank you. I promise you
Любовницу в
won't
шкафу?
regret this.
Так, нам дали ключ, пошли. Да иди ты, господи. Почему ты без point-and-click не можешь идти?
The door was locked.
То есть он не по умолчанию, да? Ну,
Now we were getting somewhere.
так. История куда-то движется.
The painting showed the Cachons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie?
Ну да.
There was the very faintest of clicks.
Ну, и чё?
Behind the picture was a safe.
Открывай! Давай украдем еще что-нибудь. Поиздевались над вдовой, пристали к ней с вопросами. Сейчас еще обворуем.
In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Cachon was past caring. The tube of paint from Imelda's easel, French ultramarine.
Не удивилась бы любовница в шкафу. Ну, может, сказала, что у него какие-то женщины постоянно знакомых. Может, она потому и злая, знаешь.
This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression. Though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why.
Ничего, вечеринки.
As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision.
Что?
I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank.
Что налить краски?
The paint would have just soaked into the blotting paper, but the idea was good.
Утешает меня. Ты не совсем тупая, у тебя есть какая-то идея, но что как?
Putting the paint straight on the cylinder would be too messy. The paint would go everywhere.
В переводе забилось в щели, а говорят everywhere. Наверное, имели в виду everywhere везде в помещении или в карманах. Кто переводил?
I'd spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a very bad girl, but also quite a clever one.
Так.
I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated.
Так вот он у тебя все равно в кармане измазанный, какая разница?
Genius! The roller and the pen
Это
worked
мы,
just
да.
as I planned.
We are genius.
But what did it say?
It was some kind of coded message. It read, "Sub judice." I may not have learned a lot as a journalist,
But that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law codes. So, sub judice could in this case mean literally under the law codes, below the conciergerie.
Гениально. И что?
I didn't need to take the leather holder with me.
Слонёк.
My heart skipped a beat. It was a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain because in my apartment
Вот
I
это
had its
поворот.
exact twin, carved into a
Может, твой
box
отец
he had
убил
made.
этого чувака
So
и
Cauchon
переоделся,
had known my father.
чтобы она не
They
узнала
really must
его.
have been friends. I decided to take the carved
Накрасился.
elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda. I was pretty
Распёр
sure I'd
её.
found all I could here. And besides,
ворует.
all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy
говоришь?
prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Короче, о Пулитцеровской мечтает. Все, мы уходим, нет? Сколько можно сидеть?
Locked. Not surprising, really.
Эта дверь куда? На улицу уже? Не подойдет?
It didn't work, but I guess it would have been surprising if it had.
Почему? Такой ключ от всех дверей. Что непонятно? Ну, пошли обратно. Все посмотрели, ну? Включать? Что,
I
свет
didn't
надо
need the
выключить?
lights on. It was light enough already.
Да иди ты уже. Ну,
Did you find anything useful?
This carving. Do you know anything about it?
It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to
у
do
меня
with...
есть такой же, только
Please, I
черный.
need to know.
He was
Слонёнок.
given it by a friend, something to do with Africa.
He
Не
never
могу
explained
доказать и
anymore.
показать ему
No.
только квартире.
But I think it was important to him, always on
Какой еще есть
display.
слонёнок?
Why?
It was carved by my father.
Может,
Oh,
живой
I
у кого-то
see. I
есть?
didn't know.
Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer.
Thank you, my dear.
And if the police ask,
Don't worry. You were never here.
sub judice.
Какая
Was the
понимающая
key.
тетка. Мы
I
ругали
was
её.
going to have to find a way under the conciergerie. I decided to head straight for the quayside on the Ile de la
Наконец-то
Cité.
найдёт
If
кто.
there was a way of getting under the conciergerie, it would have to be from there. Cauchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed. The fence wouldn't move.
Ну, ты просто слабенькая. Не ела ничего.
This fence wouldn't move either.
Да подсмотреть
This
можно?
fence was a permanent fixture.
Да я тебе нажимаю глазик, чтобы ты подсмотрела. Господи, что такая глупая. А вдруг там какое-то это собрание сектантов? Мы идем туда. Давай уже.
I tried pushing the fence, but it wouldn't move. A strange pair of locks stopped the latches from releasing the gate.
Придвигайте прямоугольные блоки. Я помню это. Пошли логические загадки. Уже некуда пёк. Вот эту надо передвинуть. Сюда, наверное. Должно вниз все. Чтобы это ушло вниз. Должно идти вправо. Все-таки.
One down, one to go.
Ой, не прошло и 5 лет. Так, вот это надо сдвинуть. Это надо сдвинуть. поднять. Вот это мешает. Это должно быть левее, чтобы вот это опустилось. Вот это должно быть. Да, наверху должно быть. Надо брать право, вот это поднять. сдвинуть.
Nothing like a good convent education for honing your lockpicking skills.
Наконец-то. Ну,
For a room full of junk, that was one very sophisticated lock system. This place was definitely fishy, in more ways than one.
я потом напишу тебе. У меня вот эта стимовская
Упс.
версия.
An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there. The brass case was smooth and perfectly round. Moving a skiff would only damage it more. The words sinister and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like me knows the old Roman for left, right, left, right. But what did it mean here?
Я не знала.
Nothing happened. Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder slotted into the hole with a satisfying click.
Так.
Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of
SD,
letters. S, D, S, S, D, S, S.
СС. СД, ССД. Че?
Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret
SD.
message. It read,
СС.
Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters. S, D, S, S, D, S, S.
Так. Ну.
A satisfying click. Another. I love the sound of locks clicking open.
Отлично. Так. Ага. Точно месса какая-то проходила здесь. Убили кого-то, вот трупы валяются. Мышей или что, что это? Или это листва? Почему мне кажется, что это расчлененные трупы? Что со мной не так?
The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. It was embroidered on the lace cloth I'd picked up at Carchon's apartment. I knew I was on the right track. Oh my god! The slab came down with a hell of a
Замуровали
force.
демоны! Демоны! Пусти, 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 пусти обратно.
With nothing to hold it up, the cross dropped back down again.
Ну, что-то еще есть.
The panel wouldn't move. The panel was firmly closed.
Надо держать вот это, чтобы открылось вот это.
Lifting the cross closed the entrance door
Вот тут кнопка.
and also opened some kind of stone panel. Ingenious. The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere.
Ну,
I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. I've always been attached to my fingers. This slot was designed for something specific. But what? A round slot precisely carved into the stonework.
раунд. Ну вот, нет. А тот, который... Мы там его оставили, что ли? А как его достать?
No way would I be able to force the door open.
А если за ним вернуться? Или еще что-то надо?
I removed the shell case.
Да ну не
I
закрылось?
removed the stone cylinder.
Ну, как мы могли догадаться, что оно не закроется? Пошли опять. Ой.
The artifact slotted into the hole perfectly.
Что произошло?
Behind the old walls, I could hear some kind of mechanism groaning into life, but whatever had been triggered had now jammed.
Джемт. Вот это что ли открылось?
The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open.
В смысле?
A hidden door. This was getting interesting. Shame the mechanism jammed. I was going to have to find a way to prise it open.
У нас же нет ничего.
I was going to need something a lot stronger than a hair clip to free the door.
Это кочерга какая-то, наверное. Какие предложения?
A hidden door. This was getting interesting. Shame the mechanism jammed.
Да уж, it's a shame.
I removed the shell case. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up.
Вряд ли оно в щель, конечно. Слона давай, слона под поезд. Ключ сломающий, ладно.
The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to work into it.
А это тебе не тонко, это не тонкое. А бумагой ты вряд ли откроешь.
No way would I be able to force the door open.
Так. Как крест не опускается теперь. Замуровали демоны.
The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up.
А как дверь открыть? Ну. А что тут опустилось? Что тут меняется? Я даже не знаю, что тут меняется.
The slab was too heavy for me to lift. Ut lex vel ut next sumito. To the law or unto death submit. I guess these people didn't believe in liberté, égalité or fraternity. Yes, I'll admit it. I was a swot at school. I also wore lipstick and the nuns never knew.
Нанс? Что сказали учителя? На только про монашек. В церковно-приходской школе училась? Я, короче, помню, надо раздавить. Надеюсь, что именно это, а то у нас будет много
The panel wouldn't move.
раздавленных предметов потом. Если будем давить все по очереди.
I wasn't going to risk damaging the artifact.
А как опустить дверь теперь?
The stone slab had flattened one end of the shell case. Ut lex vel. The shell case had been flattened at one end, forming a serrated edge.
Ух ты, медленно ходишь. Ну, а чем теперь мы будем держать ее? Слоном? Так она же расплющенная. Как ты будешь держать? Но все равно держит. Это очень странно. Так, внимательно. Что слева происходит в этот момент? А, вот он пытается подняться.
I removed the shell case.
Ой, как много лишних действий. Кажется, уже что в той комнате. Мгм. Тебе пока. С
Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for?
Что темно? О, как красиво.
Wow. Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie in with Carchon?
А можно свет включить? Нет, даже фонарика нет. Все хорошо, но ничего не видно.
Amazing! The thing still worked.
Отлично.
The room lit up bright as day. It was an old circuit breaker, like something from a Frankenstein movie.
О, какая-то дыра, как обычно. Я
A
чё-то
door like
пихать в
that
дыру заставила.
always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it. A door like that, oh. That wasn't going to help. A slot next to the safe door. All I had to do was find something to fit into it. It was like being back in
У нас скоро
kindergarten.
закончатся
All I
маленькие
needed now
круглые
was a shape
предметы.
that would fit the slot. Lady Justice stared out from a stone door, which was locked and reinforced with steel bands.
Lady Justice.
I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years. The
Нет, влезь
desks
в
were covered
ящики.
with a layer of dust. No one had worked here for years. The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear.
Так,
Fascist regalia,
вот
a
месседж.
message of hate. The flags had faded, but fascist regalia.
Да иди ты куда-нибудь уже.
The flags had faded.
То же самое, понятно.
Fascist regalia.
Да хватит про фашистов читать. Но она и в этот ящик не полезет, да? А вот это она лезет. Как это? Почему? Сценарист, ау, где
Inside the
логика?
drawer, I found a note written in some kind of code.
Убрала, да? Читать будешь, нет? Закодировано подстановочный шифр. Отдельная буква алфавита. как обычно. И чё? Расшифровывать надо же. Сопоставить символы с буквами. Отменить. Или сбросить все действия. С двумя стрелками. У меня нет здесь никаких стрелок. А, вот оно. Вот отменить все. А что... А, вот это нам надо расшифровать. Угу. Так, чего тут больше всего? Вот этого больше всего. Пусть будет А. А он не пишет правильно или неправильно? Я надеялась, напишет. А выяснится, что они и тут по алфавиту написали, да, специально? Чтобы дурачки могли тоже сделать, как в тот раз было. А ну-ка проверим. Нет, что-то какая-то ерунда. Чего? Не слишком много че. Ладно. Все-таки тут они посложнее сделали. Ну а тут две буквы. Тут две буквы. И тут две буквы. Это одинаковое. Что здесь может быть? За, по. За. Если это П, то, допустим, по. А вот это что тогда? Но. Это но и не, скорее всего, да? Здесь где-то но, и здесь где-то не, наверное. Что по это по, а за это за. И со это со. Ну, чаще с. Так, а одна у нас есть вот это. Но. На. Ну пусть это много, это скорее А. Ну, допустим, ну, то что? Ну. Ну. О, ну. А это не? Я думала, что это не. Или на? Может, не но, а на? А где запятые, вот как-то точки? Было бы проще. И вот это одна буква, и вот это одна. Что я? Я вряд ли в конце будет. А что может в конце вообще за слово на одну букву? Уж эта точка как раз от запятая? Нет, нет такого варианта. Но... Вот это постоянно заканчивает слова. Это не мягкий знак явно. Начинается слово. Что, может, вот это Е, но слишком мало для Е. Я майка. Нет. Что такое? Это может быть Т какая-нибудь вообще. Это первое слово разгадать. Ну, не. А что у нас О? Так, если это А. На. Не на. А, не А. Может, это не А. Чем это вообще может быть?
Damn, don't you just hate it when that happens?
Можно было сделать? О, так еще что-то есть.
A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village, and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising was being brutally suppressed. And here was Mr. Media himself, Carchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story. But there had to be more for me to discover. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. Oh my God! The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size. They were right about chocolate. But come on, guys, I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big. And organized. I was part of it. And people were getting murdered.
Ты не хочешь взять?
This was the article I'd written about the costume killer. My suspicions were right. Conchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. One in Italy, one in Japan. In each case the killer had worn a costume. A penguin and then a snowman. But that wasn't the only link between the 2 murders. Both the victims had been big media do-gooders, and I proved they were just the opposite. So, how did they fit in with Conchon?
Это общее, да?
My articles. The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone moldy. It wasn't more than a day old.
Что ходит сюда? Сейчас нас тут прикончат.
The drawer had come out easily enough, but wouldn't fit back into place.
Зачем нам на него посветили тогда? Ладно, записка. Решили, что это Н, да? На, но, не. Что это может быть? Где на, где но? Если не. По-моему, еще больше. Не знаю, это много, это много. Это одно. Какая из них? А. Должна сейчас разгадать или какие-то еще должны быть для этого подсказки? Вряд ли на «е» слово начинается. кому письмо-то? Может, имя? Или месье какой-нибудь? И тут на О, и тут на О. Мы пойдем пока.
I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used.
Так. Или все тот же, все тот же. А где мы ключ опять оставили? Его нет, над таким ключом, конечно, вряд ли. А что это? Это ключ?
A slot next to the safe door.
Пас.
All I had to do.
Угу, это не случайная какая-то, это именно пас. Ну, значит, опять тут ключ. Шли опять за ним.
Turning the lights off wasn't going to help.
Зачем ты его выключила? С ума сошла? Я не нажимала выключить.
That was more sensible.
На вот еще дверь закроется. А что теперь делать? Ладно, посмотрим. Смотрим подсказки. Фотографию мы нашли. Мне кажется, дома сидит писать. А дверь-то как она открыла? Записка. Записка, перевод. Вытащите ящик. Все, она не открывает здесь никакую там секретную дверь, какой-то сейф. Вообще ничего не делает. Перевод мне данные, я хочу сама придумать. Что у меня за имена есть? Коршун. Блин, вернись туда. Как это открыть? А зачем мне туда? У меня здесь записка откроется. Отстань ты. Хорошо. Ну. 6 букв. Вот тут 6 букв. Сам счастье. Про это мы думали уже, что это А. Если это не выйдет, то посмотрим шпаргалку. Где этот символ? Теперь... Ой. Чё найти нельзя? Где этот дебильный символ? Где тут долбанный треугольник. Не, ну для О слишком мало. Где-то матрешка. Ша? Ну, ша. Шо? А шо? А шо вы? Нет, это не кашон. Ладно, отменяем. Перевод. А мне он не виден. Прикиньте, в подсказке написано: вот перевод, картинка, а там вообще ничего не видно. А вы текстом не могли написать? А что теперь делать? Я специально скачала прохождение для таких вещей. Почему ничего не видно? Вы издеваетесь, что ли? Прохождение. Какая тупая тварь делает эти браузеры. Всегда по 2 раза надо нажимать. А что, это первое, да? Тень тамплиеров. Он так называется? Какое кафе? Как игра называется? Тень тамплиеров. Нет, это не то прохождение. Директор скат. Пьер, первое слово. Погнали. Кто такой Пьер? Это имя Каршона? Почему должна его помнить? Да каких гениев это делает вообще? Почему в прошлый раз нам просто расставили по порядку те буквы, которые нам понадобятся? Почему здесь невозможно, наоборот, решить эту задачку? Идиотство, а? Так, я продолжаю думать, что вот это Н. Не. Мы так и думали, не или но, или на. Теперь должно быть проще с первым словом. Пьер, что? О. Пронес контрабанду, нет? Нет, теперь уже есть. А, вот это популярная, да, которая везде? Ну что, мы так и думаем, что это А, да? Ну, допустим. Парень. Хоть куда. Слишком много слов на А начинается, как странно. А, что? Атлет? Реально, атлет. Это совпадает буквы. Да ну ладно, какой атлет? Аполлон? Что это? Даже с первым словом это невозможно расшифровать. Что такое? Что? Праведник? Нет. Орна. Это очень орно, на самом деле. Это игра просто такая орная. Очень орно разгадывать. Нет, это все-таки не А. А что это тогда? Какие популярные буквы? Арно. Не, ну они еще своими французскими именами. А у нас был какой-то Арно? Потому что... Должно быть потому что... Почему у нас тут Е? Похоже... Похоже, что... Что, где это? Да, редкое, это может быть похоже. А, чё, там я был атлет. А я так думаю, что это ты. Я почти сделала атлета Пьера. Так. Похоже, что. Отлично. Отчет. Пьер. Что он сделал с отчетом? Вы бы подсказали, что первое слово Пьер. Почему должна лезть и искать его? Опасность. Вот это А? Что-то маловато. Опасность. Так. Что он сделал с отчетом, я никак не пойму. Не порвал и не понял, что я сам сделал. Поднял отчет. О. Поспевает. Позже. Это у нас позже. Господи. Но не терпит отлагательств. Дело не терпит. Реально Арно. Кто такой Арно? Дело не терпит промедления. Пьер, полный отчет. Господи, не запятых ничего. Что, Пьер? Что, может, тире? Пьер, тире, полный отчет? Ну, Пьер, он же отчет. Но у него кликуха такая. Кошмар. Без знаков препинания еще нужно что-то. Нет, им надо было как-то подсказать, что первое слово Пьер. А иначе вообще невозможно разгадать. Столько сидит целый день, ну как бы. Не жалко времени на это. Что? Последует позже. Как-то отчет последует. Кто-то переводил. Но отчет последует позже, но дело не терпит промедления. Ну и Ямада. Это японец? Мертвы. А я должна была как-то догадаться по 5 буквам, да, если бы я увидела я в начале, я подумала, нет, это у нас не я. Ладно. Мертвы. Что это, не что? А, это. Это не совпадение. Похоже, что всем... Капец, стал. Похоже, что всем... Кто собирался... Остается 5 символов, я и то найти не могу. В игле? Почему вы собирались? Грозит большая опасность. Береги себя. Где они все собирались? Я чуть не поняла. Что это за слово? В фле и цле и шле. Это я вообще представить не могу. А, в июле? Собирался в июле? А где? Видимо, им известно, где они собирались.
I had decrypted the note. It read, Pierre. Full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X. I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't? I had enough for a story. An amazing story that was going to make my reputation and blow Conchance to pieces. I needed to get home fast and start typing.
Ага. Так это не мы играем, еще это она играет.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne yet?
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. You didn't print it, did you?
Of course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
Как
It's
обычно.
important.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national hero.
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You loved it. You begged me to write it up immediately.
2 hours is a long time in newspapers, Nico.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Pierre Carchon had a lot of friends. Powerful friends. For your own sake.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
Ну нет, мы не такие. Мы будем продолжать
This should have
расследовать.
been my big break, but I knew there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would.
Все? Конец игры. Где Жорж?
Bonsoir, Collard.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Pierre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
Что какой?
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared. This guy, Plantard, could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.
Ну я подавно не знаю, что делать. А все? На что-то
I'd only been
подумала?
in Paris for a week, but
George!
already I'd fallen in love with the city.
Отлично.
My latest
Пока не
discovery was a
подумает,
little
у нас
cafe,
George.
La Chandelle Verte. I was pretty sure the waitress was taking a shine to me. That old Stobart charm, I guess. Little did I know my reverie was about to be so rudely
Он тут такой
interrupted.
смешной в первой части. Ой, нет, только не клоуны. Ненавижу клоунов. Все, Джордж умер. Кто же будет в следующих частях? Жив. Жив пацан. А вот это я уже помню, кстати.
As I picked myself up,
Он
I
еще
was
тут нос
really angry.
найдет.
1 minute I'm on vacation, the next minute some clown's blown me up. I knew right away what I was going to do. I was going to find that clown and bring him to justice. Because justice matters. Justice is up there with liberty and equality and fraternity. After all, that's why I'd studied law, wasn't it? Well, that and the money, of course.
Так. Подожди. Должна нос найти, я помню. Все. Что за номер?
I noticed the writing at the foot of the page. It read Salah Eddin, 1345.
Надо запомнить это. Что? 1345? Мне кажется, это 134. Дефис 5.
The leading article referred to the visit of a Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Нобелевский лауреат. И чего? Зачем это смотрим?
The column was devoted exclusively to rumor, gossip, and sensationalism. The big story was about the brutal murder of a French media
вот он
magnate,
наш.
shot down in cold blood. The guy oozed confidence, like a regular French statesman.
Ну. Что, все?
I considered straightening the table, but I figured it best not to disturb the evidence. It was the body of the old man. It was hard to believe I'd seen him alive only minutes before.
Так, мы любим изучать трупы, давай. Пощупай
The
его.
sight of the dead guy's staring eyes turned my knees to jelly. I tried not to meet his stare as I searched the dead man's pockets. No wallet, no papers, no credit cards. The guy's past was a blank page. I hoped the fact that the mirror was already broken meant I'd escape the bad luck. The mirror had smashed into 1,000 pieces. Bad luck for someone. Poor guy.
То есть так ты не хотел его рассматривать, а отражение в зеркале ты смотришь. Зачем?
He was pretty mashed up.
Почему нам так не показывают тело?
He was pretty...
Что происходит? Почему так смотрим на него? В чем прикол? Да смотри ты тело.
I checked his pockets. Nothing.
Пациентка.
I needed a
Будем
stiff drink,
бухать.
but I hated the taste of brandy.
Oh, my head. Never again. How much vodka did I drink? Oh, no, don't tell me. What is your name, Shelley?
George Stobart, ma'am. You look like you could use a little help.
I could use a little drink. I feel sick, dizzy, and bruised. I don't even remember the party.
Just relax and take it easy. You've been knocked out.
You don't say. What happened?
There's been an explosion. You should try not to move.
Are you a doctor?
Давайте притворимся доктором. А что
Yes, I am.
жалуетесь?
I studied under Dr. Benton.
Who is he?
Only one of the most brilliant medical minds on this planet. He taught me everything I know
Врет
about
и не
medicine.
краснеет.
Can you remember anything at all?
No. I need a drink. Pour me a brandy.
Да.
Is that straight or with ice?
Just give me the bottle with a teat on it.
I guess a little drop won't hurt.
Нет, я-то осуждаю, конечно, алкоголь. Но Но чтобы она
That's
бубнить
better.
начала.
She knocked back the brandy as if it was water. I was glad I wasn't picking up the check.
Все, она сломалась. Зачем ее
The
напоили?
pretty young waitress was unconscious.
А, блин, зря. Как это отменить? А что теперь делать?
Hey, wake up! She didn't respond. If I wanted another cappuccino, I'd have to serve myself.
Да, что-то мы зря это сделали. Ладно, пошли гулять. Ничего нет. Да что так медленно ходите все? Так, столом не
The
хочет
table had been
переворачивать.
overturned by the explosion.
Шли к мужику. Ой,
Please, hold it right there.
Whoa,
отлично,
don't
нас
shoot.
арестовали.
I'm innocent. I'm an American.
Can't make up your mind, huh?
I demand to see the American consul.
Drop your weapons and get down on the ground.
Put that thing away, Sergeant.
Какой
Wu.
выпан с
I apologize, monsieur, but I cannot permit you to leave.
Am I under arrest?
Ah, no, I would simply like to ask you some questions. En avant, to the café, marche.
Марш. Ну это я могу перевести.
What a mess. This bombing is an outrage, is it not?
Stop that, monsieur.
Has it occurred to you that he may be dead, Moo?
Oui, monsieur. But I prefer to look on the bright side. Besides, I recall a case where the killer escaped by feigning death. However, in this case, the man is quite dead.
Examine the girl and take her statement, if you can. Et maintenant, to business. Your name, please?
George Stobart. I'm from California.
And what brings you to Paris, Monsieur Stobart?
Travel. I'm touring Europe.
You chose well. The city is most beautiful at this time of year, no?
Yeah, I guess so, apart from the bomb blasts.
Were you in the vicinity of the cafe at the time of the explosion?
Yeah, I was sitting out on the sidewalk. I was lucky I wasn't killed. The inspector passed over my remark with no reaction.
Did you see the deceased enter the cafe?
Так а я не знаю, как отвечать.
Yes, I did.
Was he alone?
Yeah.
And did he say anything to you?
No. He was more interested in the waitress.
Did you see anyone else in the cafe?
Да, клоуна, рассказывай правду.
Yeah, there was a guy dressed as a clown. He was carrying an
Мерзкие
accordion.
клоуны
An
ненавижу.
accordion? Bon. The picture is forming in my mind, and it is not a pretty one. Is the girl all right, Moo?
She'll live if she survives the hangover. She says the American claimed to be a doctor. He forced her to drink the brandy.
I can explain everything.
Can you, monsieur?
Я
Almost
так и
everything.
знала, что
She
мы
doesn't
ответим за
remember
это.
seeing a clown, monsieur.
That's odd, don't you think, monsieur? Who am I to believe? I
Просто она
wonder.
уже была пьяная,
Eh bien,
поэтому...
I have heard enough.
What do you mean?
I am satisfied that you know nothing. You may leave. Enjoy your vacation, Dr. Stobart.
What about my personal safety? Can't you at least give me some advice?
What
Да
can I
господи,
say?
беги,
Stay
глупец,
alert and
отпустили.
look out for suspicious characters.
And don't cross the road until the little man shows green.
Great advice.
I honestly believe you are in no danger, monsieur. Should you remember anything of importance, please contact me.
Когда Джордж
My
появляется,
cow.
всегда веселее становится. Да давай, беги уже, господи, как выйти отсюда?
Thanks.
Ты же не
That
будешь
is
ему
all.
звонить.
You may go.
There's not much to go on, monsieur.
On the surface, no. But what lurks inside the subconscious? If the door can only be opened.
Are you serious, monsieur? I
Господи,
thought your
идиот
interest
на мою
in
голову.
psychic detection was purely academic.
О, а вот она. А мы еще не знакомы, да? Это же первая часть. Это момент знакомства.
Excuse me, mademoiselle? Hi. My name's George Stobart.
Oh, an American by the sound of it.
Yep, that's right. On vacation in Paris. Some vacation, huh?
You were here when the bomb went off?
Sure was. Sat right out in front of the cafe.
Did you notice a middle-aged man, maybe 60, with a hat and overcoat?
I couldn't believe it. She hadn't even asked how I was feeling. Yeah, he went inside just before the bomb exploded. You weren't related to him, were you?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm Nicole Collard from La Liberté.
What is that, some kind of nightclub?
Oh, no, it's a newspaper.
You're a reporter?
I'm a freelance photojournalist.
Say, you could interview me about the bombing. An eyewitness account, minutes after the outrage that shook the whole of Paris. You know, real-life drama, human interest, that kind of stuff.
I'll just stick to the facts, thank you. Did you see who planted the bomb?
I know it sounds crazy, but he was dressed like a clown.
A clown? It's him again.
Have you met the clown before?
It's a long story.
I have plenty of time.
I don't.
Who was the guy you were supposed to meet?
His name was Plantar. I didn't know him, but he called me last night. He said he had a story which would interest me. He asked me to meet him at the cafe. I guess I'll never know what he wanted to tell me.
Well, not unless you have Rosso's gift for psychic interrogation. How did Plantard get your name?
Through the newspaper, La Liberté. I'd written an article linking two unsolved murders, one in Italy, the other in Japan. The cases were remarkably similar. A wealthy victim, no apparent motive, and a costume killer. Plantard said he could supply me with more information. Somehow the clown must have known about our appointment.
Do you know a police officer called Rosso?
Rosso? Our paths have a knack of crossing. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was deliberate. Have you seen Rosso? Is he here?
He's inside, attempting to question a witness with his psychic powers.
That guy is weird.
Yeah. Why won't you tell me about the clown?
Why do you want to get involved?
Because he almost killed me. Isn't that reason enough?
I guess so. Listen, I'll give you my phone number. You help me with my story and I'll let you in on what I know. And let's get one thing straight right now. This is strictly business.
Okay, it's a deal.
I have to go develop these pictures. À bientôt, monsieur.
Fine. I'll see you soon.
Какая дамочка. Будем говорить с ним? Или мы с тем поговорим? Пошли с тем поговорим.
Hey, you!
I thought you'd been arrested.
No, it was a misunderstanding.
When he pulled that gun, I thought that was it.
Тебе
Those
почему
automatics pack quite a punch, you know?
He made a
Ты чё
mistake.
испугался?
He thought I was a terrorist.
You? A terrorist? Ha!
He was only doing his duty, I
Могу
guess.
подумать такое про нашего.
Did you see a clown come by this way?
A clown? Like in a circus?
Yeah, with makeup and a big red nose.
Oh! Those guys are funny, aren't they?
Not in
Нифига
my
не
experience.
I love the circus, especially the horses.
You haven't answered my
Цирк.
question. Have you seen a
Можно
clown?
любить цирк?
You think I've got time to watch everyone who passes by? Some of us have to work for a living.
Did you see an old guy with a briefcase?
Wait, silly old coot. Do you know what he said to me? Work fascinates me, he says. I could watch it all day. Can't beat it. I could have knocked his block off.
Сколько же бубнить?
Did you recognize the old man?
No. Should I have done? Was he a celebrity?
No, but I guess he is now. His name was Plantard.
Was? He's dead then?
Yeah.
That's too bad. Now I wish I hadn't called him what I did. If only I could turn back the
Господи,
clock.
как ужасно
If
говорит.
only I'd been more tolerant.
Regret and remorse are strange emotions. They really bring out the hammiest actors in people.
Look, I know you're busy, but surely you'd have noticed a clown.
I told you already. I didn't see a thing.
He was wearing multicolored baggy trousers and makeup.
He'd be a poor sort of clown if he didn't.
Listen, I have to find that clown. He's a killer.
Say, who are you?
No, of course not.
No? But how do you know this guy's a killer? Did you see him in
Да,
action?
прямо при
Didn't you hear the
нас.
explosion? The cafe was blown up.
I wondered what that bang was.
Yeah, an old man was killed.
Merde. I didn't think it was that serious. What about the waitress?
Oh, she's fine.
Thank the
Определённо.
saints.
Зачем надо показывать? Мы должны ему показать, что ли? Зачем мы
Would you like to read my newspaper?
I haven't got time to read that.
You could read it on your lunch break.
10 minutes is all I get. And if my boss had his, he'd have me on a...
Oh, take the newspaper and quit complaining.
Зачем ты ему отдал? А вдруг нам понадобится?
Bah! Look at this. That
Давай.
save the dolphins, catch them and eat them. All that fuss over a bunch of fish. Nah, that's more like it. Look at the size of those. Like champagne bottle cork. Ah, what's this?
It's a racehorse?
A horse? A legend. Bucephalus reborn, mon ami. Like a streak of lightning she is.
Заберу нашу газету.
Do me a favor, won't you? Keep an
Oh,
eye on my
правильно
hole.
сделали, ну хоть.
I'm off to put some money on that nag.
What about your toolbox?
Stuff it. Help yourself.
Так. А зачем оно нам? Я вперед право забегу. Нам еще не нужны никакие инструменты. Где нос, который мы найдем? Мы же найдем какой-то нос.
I found a T-shaped tool in the box. I didn't know what it was, but it looked useful. It was a metal rod with a handle at one end and a short cross piece at the other.
Так он же... он ей люк потом откроет и побежит за клоуном в этот... подземелье, господи, какого, в канализацию.
Set
Я
into the
помню.
huge gate was a smaller access door. The door was securely locked. Set into the huge gate was a small...
Зачем нам туда вообще? Ну сломай. Нет, не хочешь? Так, а это что? Что? Что так? А, телефон? А зачем я ей звоню? Сбрось,
Hello, Nico Coolers.
сбрось.
Hello? It's
Что
George.
за телефон такой?
Oh, hi.
Well, I haven't
Я
had a
думала,
lot of
чемодан
luck.
с...
You found nothing.
No.
Look, I'm very busy right now. Call me if you have any news, okay?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Но мы
Адьё,
влюбились.
месье.
Ну чё
See you.
Тетка. Девушка. Мы влюбились и звоним. Что такого? А, можно туда пойти. Где у нас?
I was intrigued by Nico and what she could tell me about the explosion. There was nothing of interest. It was a plastic crate. It was an iron cover concealing the entrance to a drain or sewer. It smelled like someone had dumped a truckload of fish in a locker room on a hot summer afternoon.
А зачем нам лезть туда? Не понимаю, что так может открыть. Открывай, полезли.
The cover was too heavy and awkward to lift with my bare hands.
Я знала, я просто решил поиздеваться над тобой.
I lifted the cover to reveal what smelt like the entrance to a sewer.
Да, именно туда ты сейчас полезешь. Вот нос! Я ж говорила.
As I picked up the plastic ball, I realized it was intended to be worn. It was the clown's red nose. The nose was hollow. Printed on the inside were the words, La Risée du Monde, Paris. It was a bright red plastic nose, part of a clown's costume.
Полиции мы не отдадим, конечно, да?
I scooped up the sodden tissue. It was cold and greasy, like breakfast leftovers. It was the soggy tissue I'd found in the sewers. I took hold of the scrap of material and unsnagged it from the spike.
Что это такое?
It was the scrap of material I'd found in the sewer.
А, кусочек костюма.
Hi there.
Hold it right there, you sewer rat. I knew you'd come back. And now I've got you.
What are you talking about?
You're trespassing. Come out of there, immediately.
That's what I'm trying to do. Give me your hand.
Ha! You won't catch me with tricks like that. Keep your distance, monsieur.
Okay, okay.
Now, what were you looking for?
Terrorists. The meanest, nastiest, dirtiest bunch of guys you ever saw.
Ah, Englishmen without a doubt. The filthy dogs. The day they opened that tunnel was a bad day for France, I tell you. If I still had the full use of my faculties, I'd march right over there and tell them.
Well, whoever they are,
What? Mon.
the guy who did it was a calculating, cold-blooded killer. He was disguised as a clown. I followed him into the sewer, and I think he came this way.
Ah, mon Dieu. And then, one and the same.
Well, yes, it had crossed.
Ah, that still does not for all I know.
Oh, no. I'm just a tourist.
Most tourists are content. I didn't
Да,
realize my
локализация.
waste pipes were such
Бегаем.
an...
Tell me about the man you apprehended.
What is there to tell? He was a typical criminal type.
Вроде вас.
Just like you.
Just like you. Спасибо.
Do you know the waitress at the
Добрый
cafe?
человек.
Oh, she isn't hurt, is she?
No, she's fine.
Oh, thank heavens. A poor girl like her isn't safe with the likes of you roaming the streets.
Ты
Can't you
чего like
understand?
me?
I'm not a
Что я
gangster.
тебе
I'm an
сделала?
American tourist.
Ah, that's what you say.
Чё ты злой такой?
Does the name Plantar mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't. Who is he?
The man who was killed in the cafe. I'm gonna find the guy responsible. I'll find him. Even if it means following him down every sewer in every city in Europe.
Bravo! Ah, you need some sensible boots. You won't get far in those stupid sneakers.
У нас сразу кроссовки.
Was the guy you saw carrying a briefcase?
I didn't notice. Now are you going to leave? Or do I have to call the police?
Нет, мы так просто не уйдем.
Take a look at this false nose.
I've never seen it before in my life.
Do you recognize this material?
I am not telling you anything.
Почему?
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing, miss. What on earth was someone at...
Да я сама
Perhaps
изучу.
you'd like to take a look at my card?
What is this? Inspector Augustin Rousseau? What does that say?
Убойный?
Hominoid division?
Может, убойный?
A homicide. I think the ink's smudged.
Then you are not a tourist.
Okay, I'm not. I lied to you. And I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, monsieur. You know, I had a feeling there was something
Вот, теперь что-то скажет.
different about you. It is your posture, your poise.
Да, да,
yes.
сразу
There is
определил,
no
что мы
mistaking
из
the
этих.
bearing of a disciplined man. And I should know. I was in the army, you know. When I was your age.
Да плевать мне на твой
How can I
age.
help you, Inspector?
Что, опять то же самое спрашивать?
Tell me about the man you apprehended.
He was a mean one, monsieur. He grabbed me in an arm lock. His face suddenly next to mine. His grip was like iron. But he did not know what he was up against. Oh no! He made a big mistake when he took on one of the desert hyenas.
Yes, I get the picture. Do you know the waitress at the cafe?
You can't suspect her, surely.
Just answer the question, please.
Yes, I know her. Quite well, you could say. She came to work at the cafe 6, 7 months ago. I look forward all week to the relief she gives me when she visits.
Really? So you'd miss her if she wasn't there?
Oh, mais oui! Who else would I find to cut my toenails?
Does the name Plantar mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Was the guy you saw carrying a
Это
briefcase?
спрашивали уже.
Why, yes, it was. Clutched in his arms like a baby.
That belonged to his victim.
Oh, what do you think was in it? Drugs? Stolen jewels?
I don't know. But the killer thought it was worth a man's life.
Nothing is worth that, monsieur.
Ну, познай
Does
костюм.
this piece of material mean anything to you?
Ah, that is the same cloth as the jacket I found. I'd recognize that pattern as the jacket I found.
Now, about the jacket you found. Do you have it here?
No, monsieur. One of the sleeves was badly torn, so I sent it for repair.
Куда?
A pity, because otherwise it was a fine piece of quality tailoring. It had the tailor's name inside on the label.
Where did you send the jacket?
I gave it to an itinerant Romani seamstress.
Just my luck. Was there anything in the jacket pockets?
Not a sou. You know what I think?
Do tell me.
He changed out of the clown suit and cunningly disguised himself as an ordinary person.
Ну, скорее всего, так и было.
Looks like I'm up against a mastermind.
Вообще каждый раз надо
What was the name on the label?
Ah, it
Сейчас
was
сразу
a
можно сказать
foreign
всё.
name. Todrick, I think.
Did you get the address?
There wasn't one, monsieur. Only a telephone number.
Well, I don't expect you to remember a phone number you've only seen once.
74 98 08.
А мне надо запоминать то,
You're kidding. That's
которое я
his phone
увидела один
number?
раз только?
Yes, that's it. A little trick with numbers that I learned in the desert.
Давай ты им будешь
I was
рассказывать про
taught
свою
the
пустыню.
technique
Это он
by a
рассказывает про
Tuareg
пустыню.
shaman. Do I get?
Honestly, monsieur.
Всё,
And I'm glad I...
отстань. Я думаю, не стоит им это показывать.
I have to be going. Thanks.
Vraiment? Good luck.
Пошли звонить Тодрику. А, это тот
So the
самый
clown had
дом.
escaped into the sewer, come up into the courtyard, and then slipped back into the street here. It wasn't much, but it was more than the cops had got.
Ты поделишься этой информацией? О, номер телефона есть. Я думал, заставит набирать.
Hello? Who is this? Hi. My name's George
А такой
Stobart.
чувак.
You don't know me.
Correct, Mr. Stobart. I don't. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm trying to trace one of your customers. Could I
Шейный
maybe
костюм.
come over and talk to you?
No. No, that's not possible.
Oh, okay. Forget it. Listen, all I want is a name.
What are you talking about? Who are you working for?
I guess you might say I'm acting in the interests of truth and justice.
Ah, thank God. I thought you were the police.
There are innocent lives at stake, Mr. Todrick. Lives that you could save.
You're collecting for charity, yes?
No, I'm not. All I want from you is information.
Go on. I'm listening.
Do you know a guy called Plantar?
No, I never heard of him.
Shall I tell you what happened to Plantar? How he was killed in cold blood?
I told you, I never heard of Plantar.
I expect Plantar's a family man, don't you? In their little apartment, Madame Plantar is cooking the supper, listening for the familiar sound of her husband's key in the door. Junior is waiting for his daddy to come home from work. He can't wait to show him the merit
Да,
marks he
господи, сколько ты
tonight.
говоришь много.
You forgot the puppy.
Huh?
The faith.
Well, maybe they don't...
I don't know, Plantar. None of this.
What do you know about the clown who bombed the Café de la Chandelle Verte?
I don't have no idea what you're talking about.
You're cool, Todrick. But I think you know more than you're saying.
I don't know who you be, but sure I am you don't know what you're talking about.
Вот ему
Oh,
надо
this
было
is
показывать
ridiculous.
карточку.
Quit playing games with me, Todrick.
I tell you, I know nothing about no clown.
Что, всё?
Thanks for nothing, Todrick.
Да, бесполезно. Хорошенькая журналистка. Пошли к хорошенькому инспектору. А что там еще было? А, это не подсвечивает, что туда идти. Ясно.
Sergeant Moo?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure.
Ну да, как будто будет отвечать на вопросы. Лучше покажи ему.
I was one of the last people to see the victim alive, Sergeant.
Does that worry you?
Yes, it does. I feel I owe it to him to find his killer.
That is best left to the authorities, monsieur. Did he speak to you? Tell you anything?
No, he just grinned and nodded.
Don't let it trouble you, monsieur. Go home and try to forget.
I know the identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantar.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
What is Rosso doing with that girl?
He is giving her the once-over, as you Americans say. Once he gets his teeth into a case, nothing will shake him off.
I found this red nose in the sewer.
What were you doing down there?
Fishing for clues. That's where the clown went.
You still insist you saw a clown, monsieur?
Of course.
Сказали
And this
же, ну.
novelty nose proves it.
It will take more than a plastic proboscis to convince Inspector Rousseau.
You don't want this as evidence, then?
Certainly not, monsieur.
Вы вообще какие? Мы вам все нашли, а вы ничего не хотите.
Do you recognize this dirty tissue?
No, monsieur, I do not.
I found it in the sewer.
Perhaps
Экспертизу
it will be
ДНК
better
пусть
if you
проведут.
put it back there.
No way. This could be an important clue.
If you say so, monsieur.
I believe this material came from the clown's clothing.
If you are right, monsieur, then the clown must be an Englishman.
Well, how do you figure that?
Only the English would wear a suit made from material like that.
Don't you like the English?
It is not so much a question of liking, rather one of taste. They have none.
Непробиваемый. Что теперь делать? Я не буду ему такого показывать.
See you later, Sergeant. I examined the jagged glass remaining in the window. It was broken, all right. I examined...
Как зайти? А что делать? Пошли звонить кому. Вообще нельзя инспектору позвонить.
Hello, Nico Collard.
Hello? It's George.
Ah, oui.
You said to call if I could help.
Have you any news for me?
You bet. I met a witness who spoke to the clown. And I know where the killer gets his suits.
No kidding. Hey, I'm impressed.
You are? Well, it wasn't easy.
Look, why don't you come here to my apartment later this afternoon?
Fine. Where do you live?
361 Rue Jarry.
Okay, I'll come over.
Какая девушка уже домой зовет. Хотя...
I was used to working alone,
Джордж такой парень,
but I had to admit it felt good with George on the case too. But there were some things I was going to have to do alone, and fast. I needed the answers to some questions. Who was the costume killer? And why did he murder Carchon? Why did Carchon ask for me to interview him? How did he know my father? And why was my editor so scared? There was some kind of secret war going on out there, but who was on which side? One thing I did know. I wasn't going to get the answers sitting at my desk.
Куда она поехала? В смысле, я сама должна решить, куда она поехала? Такой, что я знаю, куда ехать. Она просто вышла из дома. Кстати. Ладно, 2 часа. Продолжение будет когда-нибудь потом. Не знаю, когда.